When I quit my job without having another one lined up, I gave myself 6 months. 6 months to make an income on my own. And now the problem is that what I need in order to cover my mortgage, daycare, car, food, everything for me and my daughter is $6,000 a month, which is a lot to try to figure out to come up with on your own in about 6 months. But now that I haven't had a job for a month and there's no paycheck coming in, some mornings I wake up and I am very motivated and I am writing down my ideas and I feel very creative and everything. But other mornings I wake up and I feel nothing but doubt and fear because the responsibility is completely on me now. There's nothing coming in every 2 weeks like it was before. But I know something for certain is that if I would have stayed at that job miserable and full of anxiety, I would have completely regretted staying there for 20, 30 years and knowing that I never lived the life that I was supposed to live. So what I need to do now is figure out how to make $6,000 a month on my own eventually. So if you have any advice, anything that you know that you've done and has worked for you or that has not worked for you, please let me know in the comments. Thank you.
Listen, it's just a good practice to not leave a job, without a plan, because we don't really control our outcomes as much as we like to think we do. I hate to hear this. She has a child, she has responsibilities. And I said it before in another video, bills don't stop coming. They're going to keep coming. So I don't find it to be the wisest thing to do to leave your job without having something in place, without having income coming in. But on the flip side, now I will say this. I remember I had a job, and I'm telling you, it was the most stressful job I had. But I didn't leave. I did not leave. I remember I gained weight. My eating habits was bad. I was just annoyed every day. Like my weekends were flying by. It was just frustrating. There was anxiety. It was irritations and all that, but I did not leave. So I said all that to share. Work can be taxing. It can be burdensome in a way that would make us think like, man, I gotta get out of here at all costs, to the point of quitting and not having anything lined up. But I think you have to figure out how to take that frustration and use it as fuel to find something else rather than leaving. Because now she's left and she planned for 6 months, but it sounds like it's been longer than 6 months, or it's closer to 6 months, and she still has to figure out how to make ends meet. That's not a good space to be in. To me, that's a whole nother type of anxiety. It's like she just swung the pendulum from one side of, this job that was making her anxious and regretting it, to the other side of like not having a job. Now she's anxious about how she's going to get this money and possibly regretting not having a job. So yeah, I don't recommend that. She also said like she didn't want to look back and regret being there for 20 or 30 years. Sis, you ain't have to stay there for 20, 30 years. You could leave, but just have something in place. That way you're not in a situation like right now to where now you have to figure out how you're going to make ends meet. It's just not wise. And I don't know her situation. I don't. She shared a little bit of it, but I will say this. We're all required to work. And this is not something that she's pushing back against, but sometimes work isn't what we want it to be. She says she wants to, get to a point to where she can live the life she want to live and do the things she wants to do. Something like that, something along those lines. I'm paraphrasing. Sometimes the work that we have to do isn't what we want to do, but it's a means to an end. And we have to work that means to an end until we find something else, not leave to try to create. Because now it seems like she's trying to create the life, she wants to live, and finding that job or figure out a way to make money. But she doesn't have anything coming in. That's just unwise. And I've said that several times already. But the one thing she did speak to is that just like how some mornings she wake up, she's inspired, and other mornings she's pooped. Listen, that's part of the human experience, but the more you stay at it, the more you feed your mind. I would say, I wonder what she's feeding her mind. Like, cause I've been in that place before to where it's like, man, I'm fully inspired. And then I have nothing. I don't feel like doing anything. It's like, I'm in the dump. But the more I feed my mind, like in terms of like the things I read, the motivational videos I listen to, my prayers, and then the Bible, like whatever I feed my mind is fuel. It's fuel for me. So if you're experiencing that, like the inconsistencies and inspiration, I'm not saying you won't have days to where you feel uninspired. But what I will say is the more you feed yourself the right things, to feed your mind the right things, the stronger your mind gets. The greater your endurance gets, like your mentality becomes stronger. You have more pushback against those bad days and those moments to where you don't feel inspired. Like you have a discipline about yourself. And I think that's really key in this, especially in a situation like hers, like to where you're trying to get it out the mud to build this thing from the bottom up without any type of corporate support. You have to be feeding your mind the right things. Forget just leaving your job. Like, what are you feeding your mind even while you're on the job? Because it's about a mindset, like going even into a job that you don't want or that you need to get out of. You have to have the right mindset. Like, okay, I'm going in here. I have to be here until I find something else. But while I'm here, I need to figure out how to manage my anxiety. I need to figure out how to be a winner here. It's about mentality. How do I win here, win now, so that as I'm strategizing for next, I can take that momentum into what's next. And I can take that fuel, from the frustration. How do I recycle that and use it to get me where I want to be? And as she said, create the life that she wants to live. It's all about a mindset. That's what I'll say. It's all about a mindset. But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section, and I'll catch y'all in the next video.